Air Patrol. I'm cadet captain. I'm a Skulls, as Captain Choate said. So Civil Air Patrol start, and I would like for you all to take notes for this too. So my format, you can see the top, you can write the time frame, and then I have some of the bullet points right now for you guys. So in World War I, aviator Gil Rob Wilson returned from Germany and foresaw another world war. He envisioned as an aviator himself mobilizing the civilian pilots as national defense. And others agreed with his vision. I think I would at the time. I thought that was kind of a good idea. And in 1938, Milton Knight organized and incorporated the Civil Air Reserve, also known as CAR. After that, other military-styled civilian aviation units emerged nationwide. In 1941, Wilson launched his perfected program, the Civil Air Defense Services. That summer, Mr. LaGuardia, who was the mayor of New York at the time, wanted to use CADS as a model for making the nation's civilian aviation resources. On December 1st, 1941, CAP was officially founded. So all the little groups became one with Civil Air Patrol. General John F. Curry became the first national commander. And for those of you who have your first promotion, you have the Curry Award, and that's who that is named after. And like I said, all civilian air defense groups, all the little groups that Mr. Wilson thought were a good idea that he made, became one, and it was all CAP. And then we moved into the World War II era. So in January 1942, German U-boats began attacking merchant vessels along the east coast. We essentially patrolled the coast for invaders, hence the name Civil Air Patrol. From March 1942 through August 1943, armed CAP aircrafts at 21 coastal patrol bases extended from Maine all the way down to the Mexican border. Franklin D. Roosevelt issued Executive Order 9339 on April 29, 1943, transferring CAP from the Office of Civilian Defense to the Department of War. When CAP started, no youth were involved as we know today. They didn't have a cadet program because it was all the pilots who were willing to volunteer their skills and their aircraft to Civil Air Patrol. It was a volunteer organization like it is today, but there were no cadets. It was all pilots. And in 1942, CAP created the cadet program for ages 15 through 18. And I think why it starts at 15 is because you could start learning to be a pilot, or you could, and then when you're 16, you can get your powered pilot's license. So I think that might have been why that was the age minimum. And then what did we do besides patrol the coast? We had border patrol, courier service, missing aircraft searches, disaster relief. We did target towing. And personally, I think if I was one of those pilots, I would hope that they had really good aim because I would hate to get hit. I'd want them to hit the target, not my aircraft. And we did tracking operations and forest patrols. And here's a few pictures of that. And then something that I thought really cool, I was doing research, was the Duck Club. It was said to be the most dangerous club in the world. You became a member of the Duck Club when you were forced to ditch your plane over the ocean, but survived and were rescued. And if you can imagine, in the Atlantic, it's cold, and you wouldn't last very long. So to be rescued, it was quite an achievement. And on May 26, 1948, President Harry Truman signed Law 80-557, making CAP the official auxiliary of the U.S. Air Force. And now we move into a new era. So again, if you're taking notes, you can make this one of your new headings. All right, so after World War II, CAP focused on the core values, missions that we practice today. So like the emergency services and cadet programs and things like that in the aviation. And in 1948, CAP started to participate in international cadet exchange. So if you don't know what, for those of you who don't know what that is, that's where our cadets will go and visit different military auxiliaries in different parts of the world. And here's a picture of some cadets going to Scotland. And in 1949, CAP published the first aerospace curriculum for units or for school teachers. And if you pay attention to your aerospace books, you'll notice that you have the 3rd edition probably. And that would have been the 1st edition of the 6 aerospace modules. And then when the first cadets entered the U.S. Air Force Academy in 1955, 10% were former CAP cadets. And then in 1950, search and rescue became routine along with disaster relief. And my picture here is the U.S. Air Force Academy's class of 1959. So that would have been, those graduates would have been the ones who were entering in 1955. And then some other things we did, some things that I didn't know that we did, was CAP assisted in training the Air Force Ground Observer Corps. We also conducted aerial radiological monitoring of nuclear fallout. And CAP participated in Operation Moonwatch by optically tracking satellites. And I thought that was cool. I had no idea what that was until I was researching for this class. And if you're interested in that, you should research it some more because I found it fascinating. And in 1973, law made ELTs mandatory, which made search and rescue a lot easier. And for those of you who don't know what an ELT is, it's a emergency locator transmitter. And it's in all the aircraft. So even if you land your aircraft roughly, sometimes it will go off. Evolving missions. So new heading. In 1979, CAP flew military training route surveys for the Strategic Air Command and the Tactical Air Command. And in 1985, CAP conducted counter-drug missions, reconnaissance for law, and reinforcement. CAP began delivering parts for the Air Force. So all the mechanical parts, like the spark plugs or tires or whatever, we deliver those. We also flew human tissue and organ transplant missions with the American Red Cross. I thought that was neat. FEMA works with CAP after the following disasters: the Exxon Valdez oil spill, Hurricanes Hugo, Andrew, Floyd, and the Oklahoma City bombing. CAP upgraded to modernized equipment like GPS navigation, internet-based communications, handheld two-way radios to improve coordination with federal authorities, and search and rescue. In the later years of the 20th century, brought key changes to the CAP, including corporate-owned fleet of aircraft and vehicles. So, for example, we have the aircrafts, the Cessnas, the glider, which is currently at Stanton, and all the vans, and our squadron has a pickup truck. I don't know if any of you guys have that. And then the new millennium. So, the event 9/11 launched CAP into a new era of homeland defense. The following day, a CAP Cessna 172 is the only non-military aircraft in the air. The Cessna provided emergency management officials with the first high-resolution images of the site, and this is one of them. With an increase in funding, CAP received new technologies for emergency services: hyperspectral imaging, improved communications, forward-looking infrared systems, GPS-equipped glass cockpit and avionics, and geospatial information and aerovertibility. CAP air crews trained alongside government officials and military personnel in air defense intercept missions, communication exercises, cybersecurity, and simulated unmanned aircraft. On May 30th, 2014, President Obama awarded the Congressional Gold Medal to approximately 200,000 World War II members of CAP. And here are the medals, is my picture on there. The two planes are escorting the oil tanker, and there's the watchman and the pilot. And the number 65 on the Cessna signifies the 65 members who died during their service in Civil Air Patrol and during World War II. In August 28th, 2015, CAP was officially announced part of the U.S. Air Force Total Force, and CAP responded to Hurricanes Katrina and Sandy and the Deepwater Horizon spill. Now we are currently responding to COVID-19. So we're currently writing Civil Air Patrol's history. This concludes my class.